Hello, my name is Scarlett Brown. I'm from Dynamic Boards and we advertise non-executive director vacancies from across the UK. I'm joined here by three members of the board at Notting Hill Genesis who are here to talk to us a little bit about the role they have for two new non-executive directors and tell us a bit more about themselves and what they're looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to introduce yourselves and to tell us a bit more about Notting Hill Genesis? Should we start with you, Kate?
Hello, my name's Kate Davies. I'm the Chief Executive here at Notting Hill Genesis. I've been the Chief Executive for 17 years, which shows you how much I love it. I look forward to meeting some of you. I hope you'll be interested in these opportunities.
Fantastic. Over to you, Fred. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
I'm Fred Angole. I'm the Chair of Audit Committee and a board member. I've been on the board of Notting Hill Genesis for over a year now. I'm still enjoying it. I really do like working for this organization. I've met some wonderful people and hoping that whoever does join us shares our values and fits in with the rest of the board. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Fred. And Ian, last but not least.
Well, normally least. Hello, I'm Ian Ellis. I'm Chair of Notting Hill Genesis. I joined just under 2 years ago, a totally new sector for me, and one which I'm having amazing fun being part of. Some great things the team are doing, and it's a great opportunity for somebody to come and join us to help make those changes. So look forward to seeing some of you in the future.
Thanks, Ian. And can we start, for those who maybe haven't heard of Notting Hill Genesis before, could you guys tell me a little bit about the organisation? What do you do? What's your mission? What are the things that are important to you? Tell us a bit more.
Shall I take that one? So Notting Hill Genesis is, like me, really old. It's about nearly 60 years old now. And it was formed by people who were concerned about homelessness in West London, and got together as a group, actually with the church roots, to do something different and make a difference. And we've carried on doing more or less the same thing, providing homes for people who are homeless and people on low incomes who live in some of the, most expensive parts of London. And to provide homes that are still affordable for people is really what we do. We build homes, we manage homes, we repair homes, and we do our utmost to make sure that people have a good life and can get on with the rest of their life. They're not worried about either homelessness or poor conditions. And we're pretty fired up about that and believe we're still on the same mission that our founders created in the 1960s. And we hope we've got a long life ahead of us as well. The need is not going away. There's plenty to do. And luckily, we have a strong board who helps us do this safely, effectively, keeps our reputation intact, works together as a team. And it's a very welcoming environment where people can learn and grow their own understanding, careers and expertise. So, a warm welcome to people.
And what sort of size is the organisation, Kate, in terms of number of homes and number of people?
Big. I mean, we started with just 4 homes in Notting Hill, and now we have 66,000, maybe slightly more. We are building all the time. The value of those homes is £20 billion. So it's a big organisation, and it's worth a lot of money. We do big schemes. We do big development schemes. We have problems of major problems like building safety. So we're looking for people who are not just looking for a small charity to work with, but actually are able to support a large business, carrying a lot of risk, doing a lot of borrowing, are really out there in the political world as well. So we want people who've got quite a lot of nous, quite a lot of expertise that they can bring. This is not just a sort of little local charity that you support. This is a big business, although it's a social business and it's a charity. It does take quite a lot of serious management, and we do want people with that who are not scared of that kind of scale. So thank you for asking me that question.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is definitely, you know, the scale is really important, but with that mission right at the heart of it. I mean, it's a good segue into my next question. So, I mean, would you like to tell me a bit about what it is you're looking for in the new non-exec? Fred, perhaps, tell us a bit more about building on what Kate said. What are you looking for in the new non-execs?
Like Kate said, this is a very substantial business. So we are looking for depth and breadth of executive experience. That's very helpful. But we're also looking for people who are highly dependent and able to challenge the executive without fear. We want strong interpersonal skills, good listener, always helpful, and also awareness of equality and diversity issues. It's very important to have that kind of awareness for this board. And also in terms of expertise around risk, finance, technology would be very helpful. And the kind of risk that most housing organizations, including Notting Hill, are facing of fire risk and building safety issues. Somebody with asset management skills, achieved at a high level would be a very helpful addition.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are kind of skills that I think we would be looking for.
And where do those skills fit in with what you've got on the board already? How does that kind of complement the mix that you've got, and where would those skills be sitting in terms of the board and the committees?
I could probably build on what you both said, Fred and Kate, because I say I'm fairly new to this business. It has got over 20 billion of assets. And as Kate said, in our sort of 60-odd thousand houses, we've got over 140,000 residents. So we're as big as a FTSE company. But the difference is actually it's not all about the cash. We've got to be financially sound and secure. But if our residents aren't happy and we don't hear from them that they're happy and we're not doing things to improve their life and improve their communities, then we are failing on our bigger mission. So I think we look for somebody that understands that we've got to make this business safe, secure, financially secure. We've got to make sure that our people are engaged and want to work with us, and that we work as residents and as one. So I think that's the wider bit. We want somebody who's really interested in making this thing tick and understanding how it ticks. As Fred said, challenge constructively, help add their skills and experience to the wider benefit of the group. Now, in terms of diversity, we've got a key focus on diversity. We've made a pledge to make sure we increase diversity. And this is not just a Black Lives Matter issue. This is across all areas of diversity, and we are good already on many of those aspects, but we know we can do more. We want to reflect our workforce, and we want to reflect our residents. Because at the end of the day, if you don't resonate with the people that work for you or you're working for, then you're actually not going to understand the nuances. I mean, I can say this as a white chairman, I have to learn all the time that my perspective is not always the only perspective. But in the same way, I have to understand my perspective and come to an answer that works for us all. So we are really bought into diversity. We've done it from the grassroots up as well as from the top down to understand what does that mean to our people in the widest possible sense. So inclusivity and diversity, everybody on our board needs to get that message. And we're intent that it has real commercial benefits and customer service benefits and resident benefits and community benefits to do that. So it's not a token. It absolutely makes sense as a business. So that's where we come from on diversity.
Absolutely. And it's also, like you say, it's about you want people around the table that understand the value of the diversity, not just that reflect
Absolutely.
it. No, I totally get that. And are there any other particular kinds of experience or backgrounds or people that you'd be really keen to hear from? Anyone? Are there anything else that you've not mentioned that it would be good to spread the message to?
Before, I'd love Kate and Fred to comment on that. But I think I come back to, we have spent a lot of the last 18 months really making sure we understand what we want to be about. And the expression resident-centric, digitally enabled is something we've really embedded in what we're about. So it's people that understand how those things work together and can help us take us forward for the next 3 to 6 years to make that come to life in the best possible way. But then I think, the detail of how that looks, Kate and Fred can probably give you the detail. But that's the big picture the board is driving for.
I'd expect nothing less from a good chair than the big picture. Kate, Fred, any specifics you wanted to add?
I think what I would add,
go.
What I would add is that the board has built a team over a number of years, and a number of the team will be stepping down shortly, and it'll be very important that whoever joins is a team player, and we're able again to build or continue with the strong team that we have in place, which has seen the organization through very challenging times. So a team player would be very helpful.
Yeah, I think I was going to say team player as well. So Ian has sort of said about the work we're doing, and Fred has talked about the type of person. I mean, we're an organisation that doesn't want too many huge egos, really. We want people who buckle down and do the work with a degree of humility, perhaps. We are here serving a large group of people, as Ian said, many of whom have some, on top of poverty, have a lot of other issues. Obviously, that's what social housing is partly about, people with vulnerabilities. But in addition, we are selling expensive homes to people who have a high expectation of excellent customer service. So we are keeping the customer in mind. That's our motivation. Our motivation to do the job comes from a close connection to people. We're a get out and see it sort of organisation. We're not very theoretical. We encourage our staff to go and look at a problem, meet the tenant who's concerned or the leaseholder. And Ian and other board members have also been, out quite a lot to have a look at stuff, because seeing is believing in this world. And I think it has to be someone with the time and the commitment and the energy, but also just a willingness to work together, not just with other board members, as Fred has correctly emphasised, but also with the key staff who, we see ourselves in a partnership with our board. There's no antagonism. There is a real sharing and honesty in our organisation. We're really frank with the board, and the board shares the problem with us and helps to get a solution. They're not finger waggers. They're not people who sort of, sit on high and dictate. It is a team, and it's a good team, and it's a fun team to be part of. But we are not slack. We're commercial. We're driven. We want to make a difference. So it's that culture, I think, that runs through the organisation from top to bottom that makes us an attractive proposition for someone who likes to get things done and wants to make a difference.
Absolutely. And that combination of sort of service and customer focus, I know, is hugely important in the housing sector. So a bit more on practicalities. Can one of you give me a few words on sort of the detail of the role itself? How often do you meet? What's the sort of typical workload? When do you meet? Where do you meet? Those kind of things.
Ian?
Basically, obviously for the last 12 months we have met virtually, apart from actually because we are very keen on the personal dynamic. During the 2 periods when we were allowed to have off-site meetings, we did have 2 off-site boards and away days, and that is our normal sort of practice, is to have 2 strategy days a year, when as a board we sense check where we're going, what we can do better, what our customers are telling us, what our residents are telling us, and what our people are telling us. So they are important, and they're important not only to the detail we go through, but just the interaction, the personal interaction, having an overnight together, spending some time and understanding one another as human beings, bluntly, because boards, and I think virtual meetings are efficient, but they're not personal in any way whatsoever. So then effectively, there'll be 8 to 10 other board meetings a year. Sometimes they will be in Bruce Kenrick House in London. Other times they might be off-site, but generally they'll be in London. We also have board enrichment days, as we call them, where board members can go out and do things with the business, whether it be, talk about diversity, whether it be visit a new development. They're optional, and it's very much for people to use those as a personal development, if you like, in terms of the business. It's a good opportunity to meet people. Again, a bit constrained in the last 12 to 18 months, but we've still done some Zoom things with residents, for example, and it's good. But I call those optional. The board meetings, obviously, ideally are in. And then on the committees, I think, Fred, is it four committees you have in audit? Or
yes, 4 meetings a year.
Yeah. So maybe Fred could talk about those. And then really, I mean, my view always as a non-exec has been you do whatever you have to do to make sure you can do the role correctly. If you can do that in literally a day a month, fantastic. If it takes you 2 or 3 days a month because you do it in a different way, that's fine. But I like people to be available and to be open. But people have personal lives and other commitments as well. And we do our best to balance those by when we set the meetings at the beginning of the year, everybody's consulted. So it should be 100% tick at that point. But things do change. We understand that. But, bluntly, I'll talk to other NEDs offline or to execs offline if they can't make a meeting. It's not set pieces. It's not where it happens. It happens in the margins very often to get things done properly.
Yeah, that's so true. And thank you. That's great. Fred, did you want to add anything to that?
Yes, I'd just add that all board members will be expected to join a committee of the board. Those that have the time and are able to may even join more than one. The committees, certainly the audit committee, of which I'm chair, meets 4 times a year. And the meetings last a couple of hours. We'll try and make them less if possible. And there is sort of a half away day, or sometimes stretch it to a whole day to just look at how we're doing, sort of a self-assessment. But it's really no more than that in terms of the commitment that is required.
That's great. Thanks, Fred. And finally, perhaps, Kate, you can take this one. But in terms of next steps, the deadline is the 19th of July. What would you like people to do to apply and get in touch with you?
I'd like them to do some research about the company to check it is the sort of thing they're interested in. I'd like them to give us a succinct CV, a covering letter that sort of says what they feel they can contribute. And, our advisors will go through that and produce a shortlist. We are keen on having lots of interest. It is possible that there may be other opportunities coming up in the future. So please do express an interest and research the company to check it's up your street.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much all. And thank you to everybody for watching. And do get in touch and apply if this is a role you think you would be interested in. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.